Alright guys, here we're talking about Pushing Daisies Season 2, Episode 9. So, I hate her dad.
Oh, God.
God, I hate him.
Right?
Yeah, what a prick.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Yeah, well, I was almost hoping that that Ned would just touch him.
Wow.
I thought if it was going to happen, it'd happen accidentally.
Yeah.
During their scuffle. Like,
Exactly.
Oh. But, in fairness to the inability to touch him, he's very covered. He doesn't have much skin to touch.
Yeah.
So if you did have to touch him, it could be difficult.
It could be dicey,
You have to,
yeah.
try to poke him in the eye.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Snatch his glasses off. See what's waiting for you underneath there.
But yeah, and who plays him? He seems.
I looked him up, and I'm like, that's no one. It's like
Is
the
it?
scene. It's like the scene where Lex Luthor or someone transfers bodies, and he
into the
pulls.
Flash.
Yeah, and he's like, I have no idea who this is. Or
Yeah.
that was literally. I went on his IMDb and I'm scrolling, and I'm like, he's so familiar, but I could not place him.
He gave me a
Josh
vibe,
something.
and I'm like, it's not him, but he gave me a vibe of the janitor from Scrubs or something.
Ah,
I'm like,
Jan
who is this
Etor.
guy? He sounds familiar.
Perfect.
But this episode was interesting.
Real quick, it opens with claymation, and
Yes.
my first note is, WTF? Is this the right show? What am I watching right now?
Well, it was the same animation.
Fake
as when they were
claymation,
crushing
whatever.
things and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I was like, okay,
I
we're
know.
gonna start off with Chuck and
And her dad, and
we're
we're setting up the thing with the stuff.
And I was like, oh, this is pretty
But
cool.
yes,
Her dad was kind
very
of creative.
Yeah, right? He took his...
I liked that. I liked what I
took his
saw.
things.
But in general, I don't know. Her and it's hard when you're like, what were they, 8 or something when the parents died? They were in that ballpark, something like that.
Yeah, young, very young.
Young.
8,
So
10.
you don't know who your parents are really.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like he's just a real scumbag. Like we got the hint based on the company he keeps. We know the other guy was a dirtbag.
Dwight Dixon.
So it's not out of the realm that you're like,
Yeah.
oh, he's a dirtbag too.
No, it fits.
And at the end, spoilers. He takes off in the car. And his note I thought was gonna have more impact, but it didn't really.
I can choose two?
Yeah. So he chose to live on his own, doing whatever he wants. I'd like to say the plan was we would see him again next season.
No, that's
and it
what-
was gonna be this epic thing, but
Yeah.
we won't.
I was going to build to that too. Is like, I think all of this was to set him up and have another antagonist out there somewhere. Because Dwight's gone now, so you have to have something. There's always something looming.
Well, the
on
smelling
the show.
guy would have
Yeah.
smelled him and had him in a cage or something.
Oh yeah, doing experiments.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the greater universe of the show always has looming threats, and then we have our weekly case going on at the same time. So I feel like that's his function. We might not even see him again this season, and therefore ever again.
Yeah.
But that would be
that's-
awkward.
It's either 100% we see him very next episode,
Yes.
or we don't see him again this season.
Exactly.
And which would mean ever again, because there's
Just
no
because
more.
of how the linear nature of the space-time continuum, we're at
Yeah.
Brad's mercy. No, his whole thing of okay, I'll go quietly and play by your rules, but you'll never see Chuck again. Some weird thing, and they live right there, and they work right there, and he has to stake them out to be well, Deadly Nedley, you're not following the rules or whatever. This whole thing, it was very what the hell is going on here? Yeah.
Yeah, that little rule book was weird. It's like a little moleskin handwritten rules.
Yeah.
Which
Which on the one hand, that's totally Ned, but on the other hand, it's not, right? They don't have that for themselves, do they? Is that a new...
Well, they definitely
thing that they
have gone
introduced?
over rules, and
Yeah.
they, the one he called out from the book, we have seen in
Yeah.
practice. So, I guess it wouldn't be a stretch that he could write down these
Yeah.
rules for a newcomer.
We are to believe that the rules have always existed and all that stuff, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know.
I don't know. The case this particular episode wasn't that crazy
There's
interesting.
a bat signal of a corpse and a lighthouse owner and some complicated inheritance or opening a new land deal, some weird palace stuff's happening. So many of the cases I'm just come on. What are we doing?
I don't know, there was a lot going on in the chain of possession that made this thing a thing, where I was like, all right, the woman who orchestrated this whole murder thing didn't seem to directly tie into any of the original setup stuff, where it's well, once all the family members are dead, we can make this into a resort thing or whatever. And I was like, did I just miss the part where that affected her at all, or is that just a coincidence?
A lot of this is clunky. She was doing that for love, but the original thing was this other deal, and the long lost father is also back and all that stuff. I think that they're trying to recapture the charm and wackiness of like earlier cases, but just
like the lighthouse,
throwing in stuff, without it really being like there has to be this nice.
I said like the lighthouse. I meant the windmill.
The windmill. I knew what you meant. We all know what you mean. Because the windmill's great. There's a few other episodes, right, that we said stood out where it's like this awesome thing, but it's usually like you keep grinding on the same thing. Like you have one location, you keep adding, people. You find out it's actually that character from before. No, it's not. It's the first character again. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it's the person who came to Emerson in the first, right? And then like you like do that dance. There's like whatever. Yeah. Here, though, it was like there's like this woman who loved that guy, but that's not the guy. The other guy was the guy, and the long-lost father's back, but the wife's dead, and what's happening?
Yeah, it was a little too very kooky.
Kooky, something about it.
But not in the good way. Yeah. Which they like sometimes they really nail that like lighthearted, outlandish kookiness that like you love so much. But this episode didn't really do that for me. The case itself dropped. I liked the fact that like it's raining and like Cod's not too into the rain. Yeah. She gives them all ponchos and like hers is an olive. Her name is Olive. His is a cod.
We should talk about that. That it was Olive and Emerson teaming up or whatever, and then her doing the thing of
I'm a junior detective.
I'm a detective now, and he's like, okay, little lady, if you ever stop, does she even work at the pie hole anymore? What is she doing every day?
Yeah, she works there.
So she got her job back there, I guess. I didn't remember from the earlier scenes like downstairs if she was still serving, but I'm like, and he's like, hey, if things don't work out with Ned, you got a place here or something like that. And I'm like, okay, fine, cool, whatever, it's fine.
The pie hole.
Pie holes.
I like when they're talking to the guy about becoming a historical landmark. He's like, yes, if you didn't fucking put a pie outside.
And he's like, told you. Like that. I'm like, okay, good times. I love him catching the apple and it like rotting in his hand and all that stuff.
That was very cool.
Little
it made
stuff
me
like that.
Question. I was like, he just took a bite. I'm like, does the bite still count as a part of the apple, or the moment it's removed, does it no longer count? So when he took that bite, and it's either like still in his mouth or just digested,
is it rotted in there
immediately?
Right.
I'd like to know that.
I love the mechanics of this that we'll never know the answer to.
Yeah.
I really thought this time, based on how it was playing out, we would get like a Death Becomes Her thing, where like some piece of the father gets cut off somehow or something, but he's still fine. He's waving his other hand around with his hand, and he's like, doesn't even hurt. You're a dick though, and does the whole thing and just like has it or
like he's the father-in-law from fucking Family Guy. Peter, you're a dick.
Peter, the thing doesn't work anymore. I don't know.
That's Joe.
Oh, the father-in-law. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
Good times. We talked about the broom fight and all that stuff. Waiting downstairs for the apology.
That broom fight was interesting. Those brooms were like brand new and not associated with what I would think would be happening inside of a pie place. They look more like construction brooms.
You clocked the brooms? Like, these brooms were brought in just for this fight. This show stinks.
like those may have been the brooms they use like
on the set?
On the set.
Ah, nice.
Because I don't think they would have been what you would use at all in a...
It's like too big for that tiny pie shop. Yeah, exactly. No, I like that during the fight, Ned's like, don't touch me, or whatever, and does the whole thing. That dumb thing. I like that.
And, like, it's pretty safe to touch him. He's wearing gloves. He's covered in
head to toe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, he's trying to remind the father that you will die if you touch me, you idiot. Why are we fighting? Stop it.
Yeah.
Right? And he's still him, like, playing, like, I'm hurt or whatever. When, like, Chuck came down, like,
He had, like, taken his belt off to make himself have, like, a little sling.
I was like, this is going to be like this, I guess. Which I always hate, in things. So I'm glad that then cleaned itself up. We're not going to have episodes of that.
Not that Chuck necessarily saw exactly through him, but she loves the pie maker enough to
we have the cake versus pie thing. Her deciding whether or not.
That was cute. I guess
a bit of a cute metaphor or something like that.
Yeah, who doesn't like pie though? Like.
No, it's crazy.
And even if pie's like, I wouldn't buy pie. Yeah. Who fucking turns down pie?
That's why he's a dick, because he says, I don't care for pie. Ned makes him this like insanely nice cake, and he goes, I don't care for that type of cake. Like that's why he's a dick. You would just be like, thanks a lot, and like chuck it, right? You wouldn't be like, no, fuck you, like at every possible turn, right?
Yeah.
That's really what's communicating how much of a dick the father is, and I like that because he is, and we should know.
But to flip it around here. Yeah. I can't really hate on the guy for being a dick too much. Ned did kill him.
Yes.
Ned did is dating his daughter. These are things separately you could hate someone for.
That's a classic 1-2 punch.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then brings him back like decades later when he's all fucking crusty and shit. Like,
hey man,
happens.
I would hope, because this is like a kid you knew that was playing with your daughter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would think I don't know. It may take him some time to get over it, and that's fine. But even like Chuck was like, "Oh, I get it. You didn't even know that you were killing him. You didn't know how
you
like,
certainly didn't
how your
pick him on
power
purpose."
works."
And
right?
when you put it into the context of he was bringing back his own mother.
By accident.
You're like, come on, man.
Exactly.
His mom just died.
No, yeah, it's like very touchy and stuff. Like this is like if an 8 or 10-year-old was like playing with something and like took the car out of gear and it rolled down the hill and like killed them. You'd be like, this is a tragedy. You wouldn't be to that like grown adult like, I got your number, buddy. I'm not gonna let you get away with this.
Yeah.
Right? You'd be like, wait, what? Like, yeah. So
most likely not.
But again, they had to make him that much of a dick where that was like in line with his thinking.
He's still pretty new to the whole idea, though. So like, we'll see if we ever see him again. If it's like, you know what, I was acting a fool. Now that I had some time to reflect on this,
you make my daughter happy, and that's really all I care about. But I still don't like pie. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
And even if he has a scarred up face and his body looks horrible, you might trade that for immortality.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's great.
Still
it's
a
wonderful.
gift.
Last thing, I love Emerson saying, "Make it look like an accident. Trip over Donovan and Dick Van Dyke his ass.
Yeah.
Touch him. Not on purpose. Make it look like an accident." Yeah, that's
what
amazing.
is the word he uses before that? He goes like, just tap that or something like that.
You won't have to tap some horrible thing. That's amazing. I love that kind of stuff where Ned's just like,
Trip over Donovan, Dick Van Dyke him.
Dick Van Dyke is his ass, his butt, something. Some like hilarious way of like.
Yeah, that one was good.
It paints that picture in like in your mind how you used to sidestep it or trip over it or whatever, and just have Ned be like, cheeky coming up there, oops, and like kill her father again. Like it's such a weird.
I picture he would also be dressed up in the cowboy outfit when he did that.
Ma'am.
Oh no,
darling. Perfect. And that's basically it. We get some stuff I wanted to call out. Them like hugging through the tarp and kissing through the cling wrap again, which makes me so full of anxiety because cling wrap can like fold over and stick to itself, and your finger might be on the other side of it, and then like the wind can catch it.
A lot of that is and
your hands
like
right here,
rushing past and pushing past and doing things in this episode. I was like, thank God it's a TV show. You guys would be dead.
Right? Like don't sit next to each other ever. You have to be on opposite sides of like the booth.
If you just sneezed or coughed,
we don't know how it works, right? We honestly don't know how it works, and it drives me crazy. So that's why I don't think about it, right? She's touching that cling wrap that has his like spit on it. Does it transfer through that? How does the magic work? Like you said, sneezing, coughing, whatever. What?
I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a terrifying world, and I can totally see the father's point of view where it's like, no, we should leave you and go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah, kind of.
He didn't make a strong case for it, though, because he's such a bastard. And I kind of like the humanness of that. But yeah, we are at like an impasse here, like you said. Either he never comes back, or or next episode picks up with him, Invisible Man, driving down the road with his face and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, see where it takes us. Like 4 or 5 more episodes.
Yeah, that's all there is.
The show is done forever.
There's like enough time for maybe like one more arc.
Right.
Like, overarching arc. But other than that, nothing, because this one might be done.
What else is
without
out there?
Without even solving the answers.
We kind of have to see Ned's father. Is Ned's father confirmed dead or alive?
Well, he left the twins.
Yeah, so he's still MIA, right?
Yes.
Oh, and he has a strange life too. What if him and Chuck's father? Right?
Well, wasn't it? Aren't the 3 amigos his father?
Is that the 3 amigos?
I thought so.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Did I just infer that?
Maybe.
Is that not stated? I thought it was those 3.
I may have forgotten it, and now I'm thinking that I'm thinking it, but I'm remembering it. That would make sense. No,
but who's to say
wait.
if we'll actually see his dad because of how many episodes are left and if this is even planned?
Well, we had all the magician and twin stuff earlier this season, so I'm thinking that might now
call back to that.
Now we have one parent who comes and goes. Now we get back to the original idea of trying to do something with Ned's dad. I don't know.
Maybe.
They gotta do something. They can't just solve cases every week because that's not how television works.
They totally could.
I know they totally could, and I think I might prefer that show. Just learn more about the characters through each case.
Yeah.
And just have every episode be standalone in like a certain way. Might have been better.
Psych was kind of like that.
Yeah. A lot of shows will do dabble in that sort of thing.
But that's kind of everything on this episode, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.